Thank you so much for staying with SABC News. Thank you to my colleague Nastasia Arends for the markets. She will be back again with Books on Point a little later. But for now, this is SME on Point. My name is Liabo Setho. Good afternoon. Happy Heritage Month. Our featured business of the week showcases the South African heritage through dolls. The founder of Nandikwa Dolls wants to change the doll landscape with their 8 character dolls in the collection, each representing a culture in South Africa. The following insert was edited by Nqobile Tshabalala.
These beautiful ladies, they tell the Nandikwa doll story. Here we've got Tamaswati, she represents the Swati nation. Then we have Kemutswana, she represents the Batswanas. We've got Nandi, queen of the Zulus. Then we have Malesutu, who represents the Basotho nation. Mutlalepule, she's our Pedi queen. She represents the Bapedi nation. And then we've got Monaka, she represents the Venda nation. We've got Nyeleti, our star. She represents the Vatsonga nation. And lastly, we've got Ndileka. Ndileka is our Xhosa queen.
Mule Ramutibe Kapijana uses ethnic fabrics to dress Nandikwa dolls. She says this is how her business promotes the beauty of South African culture and tradition. Ramutibe Kapijana says she started Nandikwa dolls due to a shortage of ethnic dolls in retail stores that African children could identify with.
7 years ago, my daughter wanted a doll, and we went to different retail shops within South Africa, and it was quite surprising. We couldn't find a doll that looked like her. Any doll that we could find that was more of a brownie color, it wasn't really lookable to the eye, and I totally refused to spend money on the kind of doll that that wasn't lookable, that wasn't presented in the way that I would like us to be presented.
Ramutibe Kapijana says the market for the Nandikwa dolls has been lucrative, actually going beyond what she initially thought, to reach as far as the US, the UK and France.
We thought our clientele was for the local, and then we were so wrong. We realized the market is very diverse because you get tourists that comes and see the Nandikwa doll at the airport and they want to buy it. You get mothers buying for their daughters, but then they also want it for their office to decorate in their space. And now, because they understand the story behind the Nandikwa as a symbol reminding them of their triumph, they also take it as a memorabilia. So the market is very diverse. It's a market that falls in love with the brand.
Ramutibe Kapijana says she understood that for her business to be a success, she needed to collaborate with others to bring Nandikwa dolls to life. The dolls are molded and manufactured by a third party. She assembles them herself and has partnered with women in the garment construction industry business to make the doll garments, as well as women who braid the dolls.
So I pick the fabric for the Nandikwa doll, I do the designing, and then we collaborate with Desk Creation. This is where we are. Desk Creation are the one that then do the garment construction for the Nandikwa doll, and then we then take over the packaging and the distribution aspect of the Nandikwa doll. This is where we control it going forward.
Ramutibe Kapijana says every Nandikwa doll has a story to tell. A story of dignity, triumph, perseverance, pride and confidence. But most importantly, the story of heritage, not only by the dolls, but by the founder as well.
Heritage to me, it's a reminder of where I come from. It's a reminder of who I am. It's a reminder that I shouldn't really forget about our roots. For an example, today we are very consumed by the Western way of living. It's a very commercialized way. It's a very convenient way of living. And our children are missing out on our culture, on our tradition. And so heritage is a very big moment for me where we get to remind the little ones and remind us that, you know what, we are a beautiful nation. We are a nation that's got a lot of creativity, a nation with a lot of diversity, a nation with culture that needs to continue being told.
Liabo Setho, SABC News, Johannesburg. Thank you so much to Nandikwa Dolls for being our featured business of the week for September. Do remember that we are on Facebook. Our Facebook page is at SME OnPoint. We are also on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is also at SME OnPoint. Please do engage with us. We'd really love to hear from you. The First National Bank, or the bank, has announced that the applications for its 8th Entrepreneur Accelerator program are now open. So this program aims to help small and medium enterprises with the potential to scale up. The program has been developed to examine the root causes of the business's failure to scale. The bank says it realized that to make enterprises scalable, they first needed to concentrate on making people scalable and also to unlock the constraints preventing those businesses from evolving as leaders of expanding enterprises. But let's chat more to Andiswa Bata. She is the co-head of SME at FNB Commercial. Andiswa, thank you so much for joining us on SME OnPoint. I'd love to hear your thoughts first on on the dolls that we just featured, the dolls. What do you think?
I think it's a fantastic project, and sincerest congrats to the entrepreneur. It's a very endearing project, and as a mother to young girls, it's one that's also quite close to my heart.
Yes. If you were to take Nandikwa dolls as a case study for this program, do you think that it would have met the requirements, knowing the little that you know?
Sure. So maybe I can start with the why we came up with this program. Admittedly, South Africa has an unemployment problem. And one of the ways that we think we can make a difference to move that in the right direction is to support small businesses that are growing with the skill sets that they need, not only to start the business, but that once they're up and running for a few years, it often takes a different skill set to then take the business to the next level. So I would be excited to work with, for instance, entrepreneurs like the ones for Nandikwa dolls to understand where they are in their life cycle of their business and where we could potentially support them in their growth journey too.
Yeah, you've been running this program for, I think it's in its 8th round right now. What lessons have you learned as a financial institution that finances small businesses? And also, how have you observed the things that small businesses do themselves that sometimes hinder them to scale up?
So often it takes a different skill set to start the business versus once you're up and running, what skills do you now need to take it to the next level and to scale, as you rightfully point out? And so at the root cause, we found that there is a need to work with business founders to invest in themselves and to understand their own skill set gap and invest in their own personal mastery and development, because also there might be a realization at some point in the business that as the founder, even if I was fit for purpose to start the business, one of the questions we also like to ask is, am I even still the right person to take the business to the next level? So that's one of the aspects that's quite important for businesses to unlock that scale or further growth. Another one of my favorites that the program touches on is cash flow management. So it can be very easy when the business is growing to lose sight of where there are the leaking buckets and where the business should be plugging those and making sure that they are setting themselves up with a cash buffer. And what we also have seen, especially over the last 18 months with COVID and the lockdowns, is that it's those businesses that have a sufficient cash buffer to get through troubled times, but also to then fund growth opportunities and opportunities to pivot. Those are the ones that have set themselves up for success, even through some tougher times.
And so I can almost imagine that with the advent of the pandemic, you are going to find a lot of businesses that originally were doing okay. They had the cash buffer that you are mentioning, but they've had to use it over the last year, and they're now in a different position. Are you still able to assist businesses such as those?
So in one of the key aspects, especially of the accelerator program we're talking about now, is exactly what dynamics an entrepreneur might have to manage, such as, for instance, a disruption event like the COVID scenario. And so with your cash buffer, not only is it important that that cash buffer gets you through the times when your cash flow and your income is a little bit lower, but how are you wisely using that cash buffer to now reinvest in different parts or different avenues or with a slightly different spin that sets up your business for more sustainable growth, which might be a slightly different path than the one that you have started with. And so maintaining that cash balance actually is not just a survival tool, but it's also one that you can help to fund your ability to thrive.
Before I let you go, Andiswa, where can our viewers get hold of the details of the program in case they want to be part of it?
Sure. So I would actually encourage businesses that meet the criteria, being revenue of under 50 million per annum. In particular, we're also trying to target businesses that are in the sectors as identified in the President's Reconstruction and Recovery Plan, because by their very nature, those are high employment industries, as well as businesses that are at least 51% Black owned. Those are the key criteria. Others are on the website for those who want to reference. I'd encourage the businesses to actually seek out an application by visiting the FNB app, and within the app, the FNB website, and within our website, you click on the icon that says "For My Business," and within that, you will then scroll down to the rewards section and find the business hub, and there one can find the link to the applications, which do close on the 15th of September. And before I let you go, I do wish to say it's a program that has a really great track record. The businesses that have been through it over the last 8 years, we've seen them experience at least about 62% revenue growth and have created employment for an additional 1,200 people on aggregate. So I'm quite excited for the prospects of what this means for businesses who go through it.
And to
look forward to seeing you all.
Cohort. Yeah. Right.
Awesome.
That is Andiswa Bata. She is the co-head of the SME division at FNB Commercial, and she was talking to us about their accelerator program, whose applications have just started, and they are really encouraging you to apply so that they can help your business to scale up to the next level. Of course, our featured business of the week was Nandikwa dolls, but if you want to see it and you just tuned in, please check our Facebook page and also our Instagram page. But this is all from us for today.